to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, After Buzzers, and welcome to the Kevin from Work After Show season finale. It's so great to be here. Thank you guys for sticking with us through the season. It's been an amazing season, amazing show, and we're going to wrap it up. I'm your host, Kimberly Crossman. You can find me at Kim Crossman.
And I'm Sam Davidson. You can find me at SamD43, Twitter, Instagram, the works.
And I'm Katie Wilbert, and you can find me all things social media at Katie Wilbert.
We are so happy to be here. Make sure you guys download the podcast, or if you're watching us on YouTube Live, hello everyone. Make sure you keep in touch with us too. And hopefully we're going to get a second season.
Yes.
So they did 2 back-to-back episodes today. And man, my heart feels like it's in my stomach. We'll kind of look at the episode as a whole, both of them together, because they ran back-to-back, and kind of give me your overall opinion. In a nutshell, how are you feeling?
I was feeling that I thought I was going to be right. We were all wrong. Mm-hmm. I wanted to get a kiss at the end, and we didn't. I was very frustrated by that. But I think, we're kind of just picking up, and it's done now for the season.
Yeah.
So,
what about you, Katie? How are you feeling?
I'm of two minds. On one end of things, I think brilliant on the writers team because it wasn't expected, and I'm always a fan of when there's a romantic comedy show, someone doing something different with it. So Audrey not ending up with Kevin or kissing or something falls in line with that. But as a human lady, emotionally upset.
I feel the same way. I feel like we were all so invested. We're like 3, I was about to say hot in the pants girls. We're not, but we are a little bit hot in the pants for Matt Murray and Noah Reid. And yeah, we didn't get what we wanted. But if we go back to the beginning, we start this episode and, putting Kevin and Audrey aside for a second, let's look at Brian and Roxy, because they were kind of the main focus of the first part of this episode.
Yeah.
Talk to me about your thoughts on the development of this relationship.
I love it because Brian, I don't think, realized that he was into Roxy, we realized it first, obviously, but he didn't realize it until recently, and now he's kind of obsessed. Not in a bad way.
Cute way.
But he knows what he wants, and he doesn't want to ruin his relationship with Kevin either, which I think is very important.
Have either of you been in this situation before, liking a friend's brother? Or like a best friend's brother, or like a best friend's best friend?
Not fully. I did go out to dinner with my close friend's brother, not as a date, but then my friend Carissa had texted me afterwards like, heard you had a hot date. And I was like, wait, am I unaware that I just went on a date with your brother?
That's
so
uncomfortable.
I don't know if that counts, but I was like, that wasn't my intention, and he's younger than me, and I felt like a cradle robber. It was weird. It was a weird situation.
Well, there was a quote in it, and it says, you don't date your best friend's sister, you marry your best friend's sister. And I guess that's kind of where Brian's character is, and that's his realization point of being like, I can't date Roxy unless I'm really, really committed into it. And they kind of feeded us with this jealousy storyline of Ramon the Italian. What did you guys think of that kind of storyline?
Well, I just think in general that saying is very true because it's a beautiful thing if you end up like marrying your best friend's sibling or vice versa. But I was the Roxy once in a situation, and my brother shot it down so fast.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I stayed with him, and he made me sleep on the air mattress one night and watched me. He watched me the whole night to make sure I didn't go anywhere. Yeah, it was a little weird, but
no rubbing a tug for you.
No, but I think in general it is a good thing. I mean, how lovely would it be to be at your like brother? It's amazing, and I kind of think that maybe Brian now is rethinking it because he's not ready to get married. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of like he wants to jump all in, but not.
I mean, it felt that way watching the first episode of the night versus the second one. The first one, he was like all about Roxy, and then after Ramon being like, unless you're gonna marry her, maybe don't.
Yeah.
And then it was just like way backed off in the second episode, but at the same time, that was to give way for Roxy or Audrey.
I wrote down here, have you guys ever had a crush on someone and someone else swoop in? So you've got Brian. We obviously are all huge Brian fans, huge Matt Murray fans. And you actually brought up a good point, too, of you like his specifics. When he's doing his improv and stuff, there's so many specifics. Yeah. Have you guys ever had that experience where someone comes in, like, you have a crush on someone, maybe you haven't vocalized it, and then someone else comes in, they're like, oh my gosh, I love da-da-da.
Of course.
Yeah?
Yeah. I just like a number of times have popped into my head specifically where I was like, oh yeah, brought me back to that emotional space where I was like, that's cool, you go ahead and date him, that's fine, I'm not jealous at all, and I'll be a really supportive friend.
It's not like I brought him to your attention in the first place. But you're welcome.
So what do we learn from this? I guess the takeaway is to be like, if you like someone, like, I like him, I got dibs, and just like yelling that.
I think in general, it's probably best to, if you like someone, just tell them. I think we've talked before on the show just about how like we don't like games, and I mean it makes, I guess, dating a little less fun, but at the end of the day, it probably is more efficient and better for all parties to just tell someone like, just so we know, moving forward, I am into you romantically. Do not want to be your friend.
Yes.
I think that makes people uncomfortable.
I think it does, but it's how it should go, but it doesn't.
One of the main themes in the second part of the episode is about like meddling. And maybe it wasn't the main theme. I think it pulled focus to me because I've been in this situation recently, and I don't know. What's your guys' stance on it? Because I feel like Kevin comes to Brian and Roxy. He's like, I want to make a go for Audrey. The information I don't have is, are her and Brock on a break? What's going on? And then they kind of split off and start to meddle and do his dirty work for him, thinking that they're helping him. What is your guys' stance on meddling in general?
I think that what Brian and Roxy did was really nice. And they just had his back, Kevin's back, and it ended up backfiring, which is exactly why meddling is bad, because things like what happened can happen.
Do you meddle?
I think I do sometimes, and I don't realize it. But yeah, I think that's why I'm defensive over this whole thing, because I probably have done that for people and think I'm helping.
Because you're invested. You think that you're helping. What about you, Katie? Stance on meddling?
I think I'm an accidental meddler with the best of intentions for people in mind. But yeah, I think in this case with Kevin and Audrey, obviously it totally backfired. And again, had he just been like, hey, heard you broke up with Brock, date me, it wouldn't have gone his way, but at least then maybe Brock wouldn't have proposed using all the items that he'd set up for Audrey. So I feel like time was wasted because he'd let other people try and, I don't know. But I guess it's kind of like matchmaking in a way, like everyone gets involved because they want the two best people to get together, so.
And one more thing, I just feel that with these two, Kevin and Audrey, the audience knows, the characters know that they were perfect for each other.
Yeah.
So it's meddling, though, in a good way.
Totally.
Because, Kevin really wants it, Audrey knows it but doesn't know it. So it's not as though it's just like, oh, he thinks she's hot, she thinks he's hot, like, let's get them together. They're meant to be.
Well, they did even call themselves Team Kevin, so it was like a positive team building kind of thing.
I was in a situation recently where liked someone and was talking to their best friend, thinking that I'm doing myself justice, so this friend's like, tell me this, and I think it just really shot me in the foot. So I guess this part of the episode, I was like, oh God. you're right. I should have just gone to the person and be like, hey, but then I think when you like someone, though, and I felt like I related to Kevin in this episode of that sense of like when you really, really like someone, you second guess all the things about you, where if you were just 100% yourself, then follow through, but you get nervous, so you start second guessing and looking at each side. So
yeah, well, I think the other part of that too is not knowing how someone else feels.
Right.
And
yes.
with Audrey, I mean, she's been so hot and cold that I guess for Kevin to be like, date me, it wouldn't go his way at all.
He's already done that, basically.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I would have been embarrassed if I was Kevin at this point. It's not the first time he's tried to profess his love to her.
Yeah, it's been like multiple occasions that he's tried this. So
Audrey did something interesting, and this was a line from last episode that Katie and I talked about during the week about how she's a pusher and a puller. So she'll push him away, then pull him in, and then when she is talking to Roxy in this episode, she says, like, I don't know if I was flirting with him just because I liked the attention or not.
Guilty.
Yeah. Totally guilty of that.
Well, it's kind of rude to say to someone's sister, though.
That's very true. I guess I heard it and I was like,
say it to your girlfriend. But if someone...
Not the guy's sister.
If someone like that was talking to my brother loved, said that to me, I would be pissed. And and that's the whole thing, though, about Audrey, is that I think she does very much like the attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I definitely related to it as soon as she said it. I was like, oh dear, I do that accidentally, not like ever in malice. Am I just like flirting with someone to be a dick?
No.
But I think
it's
it
fun and
happens.
it feels good. Got you. She says, I guess Audrey's stance on Brock is that in the last episode, she says, what do you do when you know that he's not your forever? So what do you do? Like, what does she do with Brock? You know, like if we're, say we were Audrey's friends in this situation, how would we advise her? If she's like, hey, I like him, it's good, I want him to commit more, but it's not forever. Do you cut it off or do you stick through something?
Yeah.
Well, I think that Audrey is still very young, and her stance on wanting to get, like, thinking she'd be engaged by now is a little, crazy. But if that's the way that she feels...
To us in LA.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Back in Ohio, where I'm from, everyone's having babies. But, this is how she feels, and if that's what she wants, then break it off. Absolutely. Which is what she did.
I guess if someone were to say, this person is not my forever, I would be like, then why are you still in a relationship with him? Go find your forever. That makes no sense to me. I can't even like pretend to be like, yeah, just keep dating him. If you know someone's not it, you guys, if you know someone's not it, you need to break it off with the person you're with and go find your forever.
There you go. I wish we could, Jonathan, shout out to our producer, Jonathan, also. Hey. Did you do a slow zoom there? We can imagine a slow zoom on Katie's advice there. So we need to build up to the end moment. Basically, Kevin goes and creates the perfect date for Audrey. That is the climax of the end of the episode. He's got everything together. He snapped things. He's basically turned her Pinterest page into real life. If somebody, now there's a couple that I don't know very well, but I know of them, where he did this. He took her Pinterest page and created her entire wedding, and he just said, okay, we're going to do this, and here it is, and he created everything. This is basically on a lesser scale what Kevin did to ask her out.
Yeah.
How would you feel if somebody did that to you? Would that be the perfect thing?
Well, if we were already engaged and in a relationship, of course, but however, if I was dating somebody else on a break and this guy was kind of obsessed with me and I liked him, but I wasn't really sure how I felt about it, then I thought what he did was weird.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah. Him taking the picture of it, I thought it was super weird. And I almost feel as though when Audrey finds out that it was him, I know that she's probably going to feel, oh my God, he's my soulmate. But I would be like, where did he find this? How did he know? Has he been taking pictures of me in my house? Like, what's happening?
It is kind of creepy.
Well, they played on that. They were like, stalk her much. What about you, Katie?
I'm too much of a control freak for anyone to be like, here's your wedding because I looked at what you liked on Pinterest. What if I pinned that 3 years ago and now I don't like pink and I like blue? This is why that would never work, because I just said what I said. Like, I would just be...
What if someone, though, went out of their way to set up a perfect date for you? Would you be...
Date? Yes.
Someone that maybe you don't really have feelings for, but they've gone out of their way.
I would feel
Would
very...
you put out just because they made the effort?
It depends what they brought.
Knowing me,
Sorry, she wouldn't put out. What I mean is...
That was the joke, is I would be like, oh, that's so wonderful. You are kind. However, I won't be attending this date because I am now uncomfortable.
Can I take a doggy box home? Can I just take the food?
I'll take the champagne, though.
Yep, that too.
I mean, it was a cool setting, and, like, I don't know.
It was beautiful. I think you nailed it on the head, though. If it's someone you are in a relationship with or are engaged with, you know you share mutual feelings, not weird. Someone who's been pining for your love for years.
Been dating another guy.
And then you find out they stalked all your photos and stuff and bought you a dress and stuff. Like, it's so intense that if we aren't, as an audience, attracted to Kevin, we're like, he's a major stalker who may kill you and wear your skin.
Yeah.
Totally. He's going to totally wear your skin.
This was the first time, actually, that Kevin did not really, like, strike my fancy. He
got it to creep town on you.
A little bit too much, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I watched it and I was like super on board. Now that we're discussing it, I've had instances where people have done some cray shit to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, it's like, how did he know what size her dress was? Even, I mean, I know she's tiny, whatever, anything would fit her, but even little things like that, I would be like, who wrote that note? You know, how does he know my size? How does he know this? Like, it would make me question our entire friendship.
There's a good point. If someone left, if somebody left you a note at your door with a location and a dress and a card, would you go?
If I was on The Bachelor,
sure.
I don't know. Probably because I'm insane, but I don't think a normal person would really know. There's two sides of me. The crazy one says yes. The not crazy one says no.
I would take Kimberly in one of those SWAT vans, and we'd like pull up and see who it is first. And if it's legit, then I'd be like, okay, but still make sure I'm not, you know.
Gosh, I don't know. I feel like I would go hoping it would be someone, and I'm pretty sure it would be the person I didn't want it to be.
Yeah, your mind would be like, it's this amazing, attractive celebrity that I want to date, and somehow he knew that I was... No, it would be like the guy who's been hiding behind the bush taking pictures of you.
Well, that moment for me, so Kevin's in the car watching the lover of his life get proposed to by her ex-boyfriend in the date they set up. I'm not sure there could be anything worse.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there could be other things that are worse, obviously.
Like, she could be shot right in front of him. I mean, but
sure,
this is
but
ABC
in the context.
Family, so, no.
Sorry, Freeform.
Sorry, guys. Freeform.
Freeform. ABC Family now Freeform.
Yeah, by the way, that's a new name for ABC Family.
Starting January 2016.
Exactly. I think that...
the show brought to you by... I'm sorry.
I think that it is... Gosh, I honestly... I'm very much struggling with this. It sucked for him, but I think the entire plan, she had not given him any indication that this should happen, and he just keeps on getting rejected over and over again. So, to me, I'm like questioning Kevin's sanity at this point, because he has Tweedledee and Tweedledum behind him, Brian and Roxy, who are basically like babies, being like, do it, do it. I love them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do believe that Audrey and Kevin do kind of like have this love thing. Yeah.
What do you think, Kitty?
I feel like after talking about it now, I'm like, they should obviously not be together. I guess, how many times do you have to profess your love to someone and be shot down? Like, how emasculating and also hurtful to your soul. And that makes me go, so I guess it's, how many times in any relationship do you keep trying and failing before you realize maybe this person is not for you? I'm getting really deep today.
No, I get it. I mean, I agree. For me, it was heartbreaking to watch because, you know, I've been that person who's really liked someone. You want them to like you back so much. What I would have liked to have seen, and I think it would have helped serve this from an audience perspective, I would have loved to have seen a shot on Audrey where Brock comes up behind her and she turns and almost says Kevin as if she had hoped it would be him. And I think that's the nugget that we're missing is a look or something from Audrey that says, I wish it was Kevin, or I hope it's Kevin, so that we're still invested in them getting together. I think that was the nugget that's missing for me. Like, we got the tag at the end where he's like, I didn't know this dress. And she has a thought, but I don't think that's strong enough to really pull us in. It would have lessened the creepiness if... Do you kind of know what I mean? Does that make sense?
You're right. Yeah. I feel like that's something they did so well on The Office.
Yeah.
Is that there were moments where you genuinely were like, Pam is for sure in love with Jim. And you as an audience member didn't even question it. You knew that was the case. It was just when they were going to get together. Mm-hmm. This show, I feel like, is interesting because I'm now on the fence of like, I don't even want them to get together. Audrey is kind of a jerk. Kevin's maybe creepy at this stage. Like, maybe they're better off not together because they're acting like crazy people. You should want them to be together.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, Anyway, let's do predictions because we're going to see what we can predict for season 2. Do we have our music?
And now,
lights.
TV.
Look like a crazy conductor. Okay, so season 2, we're left on a cliffhanger. Brock says to Audrey, and they're literally on a cliff. Well played. That's a great dress or whatever. And he's like, where'd you get it? Whatever. So she knows that it wasn't him. What are we going to see at the beginning of season 2?
I think that someone is going to run Brock over with a car, and then he's just going to fall off the cliff, and then she's not going to really have a choice. But if that doesn't happen, I think that Kevin is going to somehow stay. I very much wanted Audrey at the end to kind of have a role reversal and her be like, oh my God, I had this epiphany. Kevin, it's you. And then she finds his weird Pinterest board and then did that for him. That'd be nice. Yeah, I just got the chills. Writers, like, that's what you should have done.
That's what you guys should do.
But I think that next season, Roxy and Brian are...
together.
Yeah, they're going to be together, or she just might be kind of pulling him along like a little dog, but that's just what she does. And I think, it's obviously the central relationship is Kevin and Audrey, and it's going to continue, and she's not going to be with Brock anymore.
I think so too. Yeah, Katie?
I think that, and I'd mentioned this a couple weeks ago, I think it's going to start similarly to how the first season started, that he didn't go to Italy, he's still not with Audrey, except for now she's engaged, and I think he should start dating someone else and see if that works for him, because maybe someone else is his soulmate. And then I feel like eventually Audrey will be the one chasing after Kevin. At least that's what I would like to see, because if he keeps chasing after her, I'm just going to throw my hands up.
Yeah, sure.
And get frustrated at the writers.
I agree. I think that I like the cyclical thing of it starting how the first season started. I still feel like I want to see them together, but I think Audrey needs to feel like he pulls away, or she needs to uncover that Kevin's been doing this and feel for him in that way. I want to see that more. But I would like to make a note of how great this season has been, and full credit to the writers, because I think they have taken us on a different storyline for a season 1, and that's interesting. It's kept us on our toes. Occasionally our predictions are right, but usually they're pretty not at all, which is great. And we love that, and we're excited about that. And also full credit to the art department team. I love the specifics in this show. They did such a wonderful job. And obviously the cast, and we had some of them come in here one week, and they're just so good and great. So on behalf of me and the panel here, we would love to thank ABC Family, thank the team at Kevin from Work for making such a great show. That is so funny, and
it's so
I think it's really I hope it does go for season 2, because I think it is bringing in what free form now ABC Family wants to do. It's risque and it's fun, and I love the timing of the show too, and especially the guest characters that come in each episode.
Great.
Absolutely. I was one of them, which is awesome. But did you guys have any notes to wrap up? You wanted to say anything for season?
Well, just to our viewers, if you love the show, you can rate Kevin from Work on IMDb, and you can even email ABC and be like, we love it, keep it on. Like, people listen when you love stuff, so do that for the show, do that for us. Like, we definitely
we want to come back.
We'd love to see the show keep going. So
we should start a hashtag.
Yes, hashtag season 2.
Exactly.
Love it. Do you have any notes, Sam?
Just that I thought it was great. I think that it finally started picking up and really developing the characters as a whole, as a group. And if they cancel it now, it would be a damn shame because it would feel like we wasted so much time watching these people's characters develop.
Getting excited.
And now it's gone. So please renew it.
We love it. So yeah, that's it from us. We hope you guys enjoyed our after show. We hope we're back next season. We love you guys. You can find me on social media at Kim Crossman.
You can find me online at samdavidsonentertainment.com and on Twitter and Instagram at samd43.
And you can find me on all social media stuffs at Katie Wilbert.
Thank you guys so much. It was a pleasure bringing you the show this week, and we'll see you guys hopefully for season 2. Bye!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.